Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the power of 1 hour Dungeons and Dragons. So for probably 4 or 5 years now, I have been developing 1 hour Dungeons and Dragons, and that is where I can take 5 people, sit them down with nothing at the table, right? None of them have a thing. They don't have dice, they don't have pencils, they don't have pens, none of them have books, none of them none of them even know how to spell Dungeons and Dragons. And I can run an entire adventure for all of them that is engaging and enjoyable in 1 hour, right? And so, I've been doing this for a while. I use Lego, and I use Magic the Gathering, and I use Dungeons and Dragons, right? And together, I can do literally represent. I could do grid combat, right? And I can tell a full story, an entire adventure in an hour. And I've worked very hard to do it. I've spent a lot of time on equipment. I've spent a lot of time on philosophy. I've spent a lot of time on practical, tactical, and I'm there, right? And so today, I'm very fortunate. A friend, a buddy of mine, I'm sitting in church. A buddy of mine texts me, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing great. How are you?" He's like, "I just got off of work," and actually, he says, "Hey, how are you?" So I'm in church, and I say, "I'm doing good. I'm in church, and later today, I'm gonna watch the Eagles play." Right. And I was like, "How about you? What are you up to?" Right. And so now this is in church, but hey, we got our phones. It's a different world, right? And he texts back, he goes, "I don't know what I'm doing today." Right. And I'm like, well, I can get together with you from 1 to 3 p.m. because, the Eagles game is on later. And so I need to, yeah. And so, all of that, right? And I was like, and what we could do is we could do D&D or MTG. And he's like, "Oh, it's up to you." And I'm like, "Great, we're gonna start a Dungeons and Dragons campaign," right? So I keep my gear together, I keep my stuff tight, I stay ready, right? Now, one thing is like, the Hulk. They're like, "Oh, hey Hulk, can you get angry?" And he's like, "Here's the secret: I'm always angry," right? I am the Incredible Hulk with Dungeons and Dragons, right? They're like, "Oh, hey, can you run Dungeons and Dragons?" I can always run Dungeons and Dragons. Like I spend my life hyper focused, being ready to run Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm starting a new D&D campaign with one player. It's going to be, and actually we're going to have a 2 hour block, which would be nice and enjoyable. But it's nice, man, and I love that on literally at 11:15 a.m. I can have no plans to play D&D, and at 1 p.m. I'm playing D&D, right? And I think a lot of people are not ready for this. A lot of people are, we need a session 0, blah, 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 bling, blah, 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 blah. Be ready. It takes time. You need to shift to a 1 hour Dungeons and Dragons stance, and then be able to go up to 2 hours. Don't go over 2 hours. People who run Dungeons and Dragons for more than 2 hours per session suck at dungeon mastering, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. That's the power of 1 hour D&D. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.